Imagine a nation once struggling under famine, war, and political turmoil. A nation where millions dreamed of a better tomorrow but had no roadmap to reach it. And then, within just a few decades, this same country rose to become one of the world's fastest-growing economies. How did it happen? Was it strategy, leadership, sacrifice, or something far more complicated? Today, we uncover the transformation that stunned the modern world. This is the story of how China became rich, step by step, decision by decision, and generation by generation. A story of ambition, reinvention, and the relentless pursuit of national power. Welcome to the economic revolution that changed history. For centuries, China was known as an ancient civilization with a glorious past but a troubled, unstable modern era. And then, almost suddenly, it became one of the fastest-growing economies in human history. Based on documented events, this transformation began not with wealth, but with crisis. Before 1978, China faced severe economic challenges. Historical records show low industrial productivity, limited foreign trade, and widespread poverty. The nation had people, ambition, and potential, but lacked an effective economic model. The turning point came in 1978. China's leadership, led by Deng Xiaoping, introduced what became widely known as reform and opening up. This event is historically verified as one of the most important economic turning points of the 20th century. But reform did not begin in giant cities. It began secretly in a small village. According to historical accounts, farmers in Xiaogang village of Anhui province created a private agreement to divide farmland among families, something that was not officially allowed at the time. When results improved dramatically, the central government recognized the effectiveness of decentralized farming. This became one of the earliest examples of China shifting from collective farming to household-based agriculture. By the early 1980s, agricultural productivity increased, food scarcity declined, and millions of rural citizens experienced better income than before. This agricultural reform became the first foundation of China's later economic expansion. Once agriculture stabilized, China began industrial reforms. State-owned factories were allowed to make independent decisions, explore market pricing, and experiment with efficiency-focused management. This period is known as the dual-track system, a mix of planned and market economy, documented widely in economic literature. The next big transformation came through China's special economic zones. The first SEZs, Shenzhen, Zhuhai, Shantou, and Xiamen, were created in 1980. This is a well-documented policy decision. Shenzhen is perhaps the best-known example. In the late 1970s, it was a small fishing town. Today, it is a major global technology and manufacturing hub. This transformation is often cited as evidence of how foreign investment and local innovation reshaped China's coastal regions. China opened its doors to foreign businesses. Companies from the United States, Japan, South Korea, and Europe moved production to China. Historical economic reports confirm three major reasons for this: lower labor costs, rapidly improving infrastructure, and government incentives such as tax benefits and land use support. Throughout the 1980s and 1990s, China rapidly became a global manufacturing center. Based on available data, this period contributed significantly to job creation, infrastructure expansion, and technology transfer. To support this industrial boom, China invested heavily in roads, rail lines, ports, and power plants. Reliable sources widely document China's large-scale infrastructure spending as a core driver of economic growth. Better infrastructure attracted more foreign investors, creating a powerful cycle of rapid industrial expansion. Another verified advantage was China's large population and growing workforce. Scholars often highlight the demographic dividend, a period when China had a large working-age population supporting relatively fewer dependents. This demographic condition contributed to faster economic output. The reforms brought not just economic changes, but major social shifts. Millions of rural citizens migrated to cities for work, private businesses were gradually legalized, and access to education improved. These developments are supported by academic research on modern China. During the 1990s, China advanced into new sectors such as electronics, machinery, and chemicals. Government policy documents indicate strong support for industrial modernization and science education. One of the most widely recognized milestones occurred in 2001, when China joined the World Trade Organization. This integration into the global economy accelerated export growth. Based on international trade statistics, China's exports expanded significantly after this event. The export industry fueled urbanization, raised national income, and helped China accumulate vast foreign exchange reserves. Economic analysts often call this China's high growth phase. The human impact of this growth was monumental. Available reports from global institutions indicate that hundreds of millions of Chinese citizens moved above the extreme poverty line since the 1980s. While exact numbers vary across studies, the trend is widely acknowledged as one of the greatest poverty reduction stories in history. To sustain this momentum, China invested heavily in its people. Science, engineering, and vocational training became national priorities. The number of graduates from technical fields increased significantly over the years, according to educational data. This expanded talent pool supported China's ever-growing industrial ecosystem. By the late 2000s, China began a crucial pivot. The focus started shifting from made in China to designed in China. Domestic companies began producing their own advanced electronics, telecom equipment, and consumer technology. Firms such as Huawei, Lenovo, and later others gained global visibility. Documented sources consistently reference strong R&D investment and supportive government policies as key factors in their rise. Meanwhile, cities expanded at an incredible rate. Millions moved from rural to urban areas, seeking new opportunities in factories, construction sites, and offices. This massive wave of urbanization became a major force behind the growth of the housing, transportation, and service sectors. As incomes rose, a new phenomenon emerged: a rising middle class. This group began to increase domestic consumption, buying cars, apartments, and modern appliances. Although the exact size of the middle class varies depending on the definition, most research acknowledges a significant upward trend, creating a new engine for the economy. So, how did China pull it all off? It wasn't one single policy, but a structured mix of strategies. We see long-term planning, targeted industrial policy, aggressive export promotion, massive technological investment, and carefully controlled market experimentation. These methods are documented in government plans and academic studies, showing a pragmatic and adaptive approach to development. By the late 2000s, China had undergone one of the most rapid economic transformations ever recorded. But this was not the end. It was only the foundation for its next chapter as a global power. Thank you for watching. If you found this story of economic transformation fascinating, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into the events that shape our world. We'll see you in the next one. How did China transform from a largely rural society into a global economic powerhouse in just a few decades? It's one of the most significant stories of our time, a complex tale of ambition, strategy, and massive change. Let's look at the key developments that reshaped not just a nation, but the entire world. Starting in the early 2010s, China doubled down on advanced technology. Public policy documents clearly laid out the country's strategic priorities: artificial intelligence, renewable energy, high-speed rail, semiconductors, robotics, and space technology. These weren't just industries. They were symbols of China's ambition to move from being the world's factory to an innovation-driven economy. Take high-speed rail, for example, in what felt like the blink of an eye. China built one of the largest and most advanced high-speed rail networks on the planet. This monumental infrastructure project became a powerful example of the country's engineering prowess and its capacity for long-term, large-scale planning. It connected megacities, spurred regional development, and changed how hundreds of millions of people travel. The same ambition was directed toward renewable energy. China made massive investments in solar, wind, and hydropower, quickly becoming a dominant force. Not only did it install vast arrays of solar panels and wind turbines at home, but it also became a leading global manufacturer of these technologies, including electric vehicle batteries. While rankings fluctuate, China's position as a major player in the green energy transition is undeniable. Then, in 2013, came the Belt and Road Initiative, a global infrastructure development strategy aimed at improving connectivity and cooperation across Asia, Europe, and Africa. While interpretations of its geopolitical goals vary widely, the BRI stands as one of the most ambitious international infrastructure programs ever conceived, cementing China's influence far beyond its borders. Meanwhile, a digital revolution was unfolding within China. Digital payments, e-commerce, and online services exploded in popularity. Companies like Alibaba, Tencent, and ByteDance built vast digital ecosystems that became integral to daily life. How did this happen so fast? Analysts point to several key factors: the rapid adoption of mobile internet, a massive domestic consumer base eager for new services, and significant government support for digital startups. This tech boom fueled the rise of new innovation centers. Cities like Shenzhen, once a small fishing village, transformed into a bustling metropolis known as China's Silicon Valley. Along with Beijing, Hangzhou, and Shanghai, these cities became magnets for top engineers, designers, and entrepreneurs from around the world, creating vibrant ecosystems of innovation. As China's economy grew, so did its role in global trade. It became a crucial trading partner for countries on every continent, deeply embedding itself in global supply chains. Of course, this expansion wasn't without friction, leading to increased trade tensions with some nations, but China's push to expand its global economic footprint continued. However, no economy grows without facing significant challenges. Analysts and researchers frequently point to a number of hurdles for China. These include a rapidly aging population, a critical dependence on imported high-end semiconductors, and growing regional inequality between the prosperous coastal areas and the less developed inland provinces. On top of that, there are serious environmental concerns stemming from decades of rapid industrialization, high levels of debt in local governments, and a noticeable slowing of economic growth in recent years. China is actively trying to tackle these issues. It has introduced a wide range of policies aimed at upgrading its manufacturing sector, achieving self-sufficiency in critical technologies like semiconductors, accelerating the green energy transition, and revitalizing rural areas to bridge the urban-rural divide. The long-term effectiveness of these strategies is still being debated and evaluated by economists. One of the most profound shifts has been the rise of China's middle class. This has created a powerful new engine for the economy: domestic consumption. Chinese consumers are now spending more on services, technology, and lifestyle products, changing the very fabric of the market. However, consumption levels still vary dramatically across different regions of the country. To fuel its innovation ambitions, China has continued to invest heavily in higher education, particularly in STEM fields. This has resulted in a surge of research publications, patent applications, and innovation activities. In parallel, China's space program has captured global attention with its impressive achievements, from lunar exploration missions to the development of its own space station. These accomplishments are not just about science. They're powerful statements of technological capability and national ambition. So, how can we understand China's economic model? It's often described as a unique blend of state-guided planning and market-based experimentation. It combined a strong focus on infrastructure development with a strategic openness to foreign investment, all guided by long-term strategic thinking. Whether this model can be replicated elsewhere is a subject of ongoing debate among experts. The social impact of these changes has been dramatic. Lifestyles, education, healthcare, and employment have been completely transformed. The generational gap between those who grew up before the reforms and those born into a more prosperous, connected China is immense. Today, China's economy is at a crossroads. While it remains a central player in global trade and technology, its era of hypergrowth has passed. The future is uncertain, but the journey so far offers some powerful lessons. Economists often highlight the importance of long-term planning, the growth-accelerating power of infrastructure investment, and the critical role of developing human capital. While not universally agreed upon, These themes recur in analyses of China's rise. The story is far from over. The transformation from rural poverty to global economic power was a journey that took decades of reform, experimentation, and restructuring. It wasn't one single policy or factor, but a complex interplay of people, technology, and time. From the quiet farmlands where reforms first began to the dazzling skyscrapers of its modern cities, China's economic rise has reshaped our world. Thanks for watching, and if you found this interesting, be sure to subscribe for more deep dives.